So, the weirdest thing is that I don't like to talk. Like, I work at a call center. I've been working at call centers for the past fucking long time. But I don't like using my voice. Like, I prefer texting. I prefer typing responses like a game. And I even have what used to be a pretty decent microphone. And like I've used it a couple times, but overall, what I've always found amusing, what I've always enjoyed doing is typing back to people who like talk to me. I don't like using my voice. So the only reason I can do this is because it's late at night and I'm in my car and I don't see the camera. Like, I remember one of the first videos I posted on YouTube forever ago at this point. Like, I watched it and like I can see the moment when I like glance at the camera because it just makes me super hyper aware of it. And it kind of freaks me out. It's the fact that like it's just like tucked on my console and it's not pointing at me and like it's dark and I'm in my car. It's like the only reason I can actually do stuff like this, because I already talked to myself on the way home anyway to keep myself awake and engaged. But yeah, I was thinking that earlier. It was just amusing, especially because I work at a call center. So there's that. I don't really have like a purpose for these. Yeah, it's just kind of on. I feel like there's a strong possibility that one of these is just going to be me turning it on and then just driving home without saying anything. It's going to be like 20 minutes of just driving sounds, which is probably not a bad idea if you're into ASMR. I need to get gas. I need to go to the store and get like shower stuff. Like all of it. You ever notice that like things go out here and there? I feel like I've said this before, but like things go out here and there. Like you need to get a bottle of this, you need to get a bottle of that. It's like a one-off thing. And then like all of a sudden everything's out all at once. And the thing about that is that it's so expensive. Like, especially if you're, like, used to shopping at X price point. Like, you go to the store and you're going to spend X amount. And it's not even something that you're, like, consciously thinking of. It's just that's how much you spend, right? You go to the store, given your shopping habits, you end up spending X or Y amount of money. It's just kind of how it works. But, like, when you have to restock everything, it's like an extra like 50, 60, 70 bucks depending on how much it is. Like paper towels and toilet paper is like what, like 30 bucks, 45 bucks depending on what you get. Like soaps, all that stuff. So funny story. I don't think I've ever actually said this here. This thing ends. Scheisse. So I have a 2019 Hyundai Kona Ultimate all-wheel drive, which is my baby. But what's funny, or not funny, but like, so I was planning on buying a motorcycle. Suzuki M109R, I still want one. I have a motorcycle license and just don't have the bike. And that's like stylistically or style-wise the only one I actually like. Like I could probably do an M90, especially because I don't have a bike. And aside from like the one class I took, I've never been on one. So getting on an M109R as my first bike is probably not the best of ideas. But so I was planning on buying a bike, but at the time I had, I want to say a Nissan Pulsar, but that's not right because that was my very first car. I had a what did I have? CC, Scion TC, and she had some wear on her. She was not in the best of shapes. Now I always wanted. I always wanted a TC, excuse me, like the first gen body style. I do not like the next gen, and I actually don't like the next gen of this car. The newest, I think the 2022 Kona, like they changed it from being like her own little subclass to like an oversized hatchback, which is she's already kind of that, but like she has this weird style, like size-wise, where she's like her own class. Anyway, so I was gonna buy a bike and then use that as my primary mode of transportation, because I'm in California, which is like one of the few places in Missouri that you can actually ride a bike almost all year round. But you know, for the fact that my TC was old and needed work, and I didn't want to pay more money for a car that already needed a lot of work if I really wanted to put the time into it. And that was just the thought process, right? I was basically about the time when I was looking at trying to get promoted. I think, I was trying to get promoted, I think. Or I just got promoted. No, I was trying to get promoted. But there was nothing really that caught my eye. I was looking at a family car, whatever. I was looking at a family car, and I didn't like any of them. Like, I think the Honda, I want to say CR-V, I think it is, or the HRC or something, has a great, the exterior body style is pretty sweet. Like, I like it, it's interesting. But stat-wise, performance-wise, review-wise, everything was like, performance is not there. So it's like the I want to say the Prowler, but I don't think that's right. What was that? Excuse me. What was that first gen of like crossover? Like there was two of them. There's like the boxy one, and then like the round one. Oh man, I don't remember. Like forever ago. But it was basically, even though the exterior was like that, or the exterior was like that, I don't know why I put the emphasis on that side of the word. For all intents and purposes, it was basically a neon, from my understanding. So like, it looked neat, but it was a neon. So it was like, yeah, about that. So that's like what the Honda was to me. This guy's like he's in a weird spot. I need to get over it. He's just like right there. So yeah, so I don't remember, I think it was the Jeep. I think a Jeep caught my eye. Because I didn't like the Cherokees at the time. They have, they lost something, they became really weird looking. And like, I didn't want too big of a car. And just to throw this out there, these are literally just me rambling on while I drive home. So don't look for too much or anything for the most part. But anyway, I didn't like the Cherokee style. But I think the smaller one, and I don't remember that name, I don't remember. I want to say the Patriot maybe? I don't remember. But I started looking at crossovers. And out of all of them, the Kona, like, immediately caught my eye. Like, I just absolutely fell in love with it. So here's the reason for the story, which is long and rambling. So, like, this was going to be my very first car that I bought new. Like, I had bought used cars before. And the TC was actually, while used, she was the first, like, I always wanted this car. Like, I bought used cars before that were kind of just like, this is what's available. But in regards to getting something that I actually wanted, the TC was kind of the first point of it. Like, I would always get, like, the best of what was available, and the TC was I always wanted a TC, so get a TC. The Kona was I'm buying a new car, get exactly what you're looking for. And the Kona, stylistically, fucking was perfect. I just love the style. But so here's what's, So I built her on the Kona website. So Kona Ultimate all-wheel drive, because something in my head said I could not. So the default or the standard is front-wheel drive. Why is traffic fucking not going anywhere? Now you're getting over. The default is front-wheel drive, but like I could not let myself buy the front-wheel drive version of this car. I could not do it. Like, it was like, you have to get all-wheel drive or you cannot buy the car. I don't know why. That's just how it worked. So, Hyundai Kona, Ultimate, all-wheel drive, black exterior, gray interior, with floor mats and the trunk net. Right? That's what I had built on the website. It's like Hyundai.com. Months before I bought it. So, I get promoted. I pay down a couple bills enough to get my credit score up high enough to buy a new car. I have my loan set through USAA, like I'm legit ready to go, right? So I had decided, if I'm buying my car, if I'm buying a brand new car, I'm legitimately going to get my car. This is what I'm getting. The end. So I had built it on Hyundai.com, like this. Built this exact car. Every, what I just said, those specs are what I had built. And then so it comes a couple months later. It comes time for me to buy it, and there's no all-wheel drive black Kona Ultimate anywhere near me at all. So I had gone to Hyundai at Riverside, because that guy over the phone, because I actually took that day off work. I was very upset. I took the day off work, and because he called me, he was like, "Yeah, come down, we'll get you the car." And I'm like, "You don't have it in stock, right?" Like, I would put it into the search locator. Once I was really serious, about to pull the trigger, I started really looking at it. And she didn't exist anywhere near, 50 miles out, 75 miles out. There was no this. There was no all-wheel drive Ultimate. There was lower variants, lesser versions, no all-wheel drive or the limited, there were other versions, but the one I had built on Hyundai.com didn't exist anywhere near. But apparently there was one in Fresno, which is apparently a 4-hour drive or some shit like that, which I was not about that life. And the Riverside Hyundai said, I never know how to say it. The Riverside Hyundai was come down, we'll be able to ship the car to you. I was like, I need you to confirm that that's what's going to happen, because I know it's not on your lot. I can take the day off. I'm more than happy to come down and do that. But if I do that, I want to drive away with my car. Yeah, so I go down there. They're like, yeah, of course. So I get down there. They run my credit, I guess to assure themselves that I'm legit, which I was. And then he tells me that he is unable to get me the car. I was fucking furious. furious. That was not a good day. And I just started pacing. I was super fucking mad. Because why would you hit my credit score after I'd spent, the last couple months really working on it to get it up to where it needed to be? Never mind the fact that you lied to me to get me here. And you can't give me the car that I wanted to get in the first place. Plus, it was like, the car is going to cost, I'll tell you, it's going to cost $35,500 to get the car because, we have to get it shipped in, which was more than a few $1,000s over what the build price was on Hyundai.com. And he's like, well, if I'm getting it shipped, I can't really fucking, I can't, what's the word? Haggle. Haggle's not the right word. You know what I mean? Where you it's haggling, but there's a different word. Because I'm getting it, but he's like, yeah, I can't do that because I'm getting it shipped, so it's going to be $35,500. Which, again, was more than I had mentally prepared myself to spend. So, yeah, eventually I left. Like, his manager or his boss came out and was like, well, we can't get you that one, but what about the Limited? And I'm like, no, the Limited doesn't have, I was actually wrong about this part, but I told him the Limited didn't have Infinity speakers. The Limited does have Infinity speakers, but the Limited does not have the heads-up display. He was like, well, what about the Ironman edition? I was like, the Ironman edition doesn't have a sunroof. He was like, you kind of know yourself. I was like, I built this car. I've been looking at this specific car that I built on Hyundai.com for the past, fucking 3 to 4 months, because this is going to be my car. I built this specific car to come in and buy, not to have some random other shit you throw on me because you fucking lied to get me here. I was not happy, so I left. I ended up leaving because they couldn't do anything. And over the next week or two, they check in with me or I check in with them. We're still trying to get you the car, man. We're still trying to get you the car, man. And I want to say 3 weeks later it was fucking done. And the timing was super interesting because I think what happened, I want to say it happened in this order. I'm not entirely certain, but I know it was super close because I finally ended up calling the Fresno branch, and I have to say I was not in a good mood. I was not in a good mood, and I do apologize to that kind, unfortunate woman who caught the brunt of my dissatisfaction. Because she answered the phone and I was like, look, you people said you would ship my car to Riverside and it's not there. And I'm not trying to drive for it. I was not happy. She was so great because she was like, let me get in touch with the sales guy. He'd be the person who would have done this. We'll give you a call back in an hour. And she was a sweetheart. And I want to say, I was like, okay, fine, whatever. And I want to say that the Riverside guy called me after that. It was like, yeah, you're going to just have to look somewhere else, man. I'm sorry, we're not going to be able to get you the car. I was like, yeah, because you're a fucking worthless dick. So what happened was the trippiest moment of my life. So the Fresno guys actually called me back. I was at work, right? So I was literally at work. And it was more than an hour, but I'm not at all complaining about it because I was at work. And I want to say a couple hours later, the sales guy's like, hey, how much did they say you could buy the car for? And I was like, $35,500. Because, it's shipping out. And he was like, we can ship you the car. I was like, you can ship it to Riverside? He's like, no, we'll ship it to your house. I was like, what? So, at work, over the course of, I want to say, an hour, I literally fucking bought a car. License was sent, loan was approved, it was sent over to them. The paperwork obviously didn't get signed because I didn't have it, but I bought a car. It was mine now. I just needed it. So I was like, and again, this was literally during the work day, and I had to go to work the next day, and I was like, well, when can it be there? And we can have it to you tomorrow. I was like, by when? He's like, well, what's a good time? I was like, 9 a.m.? He's like, that's a little early. How about 10? I was like, okay. So 9:05 the next day, I get a fucking call, and my car is literally on a fucking flatbed truck crossing the street as they fucking ship it to my house. I spend the next 30 minutes filling out the paperwork, and drive my brand new car to work. It was the fucking most amazing sensation. Like, I was looking forward to driving. I think that dude tried to... So there's construction here, and I think a guy just tried to not drive through where they cut the road off, right? The road's off, and they're like, you have to go right here. And there's a cop there and a car with its lights off that apparently did not want to go right. Anyway, and of course, light's green and there's traffic in the middle of the road. I'm gonna be that guy. Yeah, but I had been looking forward to driving, my brand new car home from the car lot, from the dealership, right? Like, that's the feeling you look forward to. You buying your first brand new car, you want to get the keys, drive it off the lot. This is mine now. It's new. It's mine. Rawr. And I didn't get that, and I was really fucking annoyed. However, Amazon has literally nothing on a new fucking car being delivered to your house. But, so that was cool, right? And I love my car. But here's what's super trippy to me. So on Hyundai.com, I built black Kona Ultimate all-wheel drive, white interior, floor mats, and trunk net. Like, that's what I built. I optioned it out. These are the options I want. I don't want any of the other options. I want this. This is my full package. This is what I want. That's what I built on Hyundai.com. Now, East Coast is different, but the big issue is that, one, it's an Ultimate, but two, the all-wheel drive doesn't really exist on the West Coast, at least in Southern California, which is why she was so hard to find. Like, I think she at least when I bought her, she's basically the only all-wheel drive Ultimate on the West Coast that we had access to. Like, she's, ironically enough, I own a rare car now, at least on this side. I think East Coast, y'all got a bunch of them, right? But West Coast, she's rare. But so that's what I built, and I say that because I built on Hyundai.com. I built the black Ultimate all-wheel drive, white interior, floor mats, trunk netting. The car that I ended up buying was, of course, the black Ultimate white interior all-wheel drive, but she has the floor mats and she has the netting. She's literally the exact option out Kona that I built on the website, which is trippy, but also specifically, and I named her Tiffany, who's a fury, but she was in fucking Vegas. She was in Vegas. Like, she's the only one on the West Coast when I bought her, basically, that we had access to. So within like a couple hundred fucking miles. And she, the exact version of the car that I optioned out, had been shipped apparently to Vegas, and then from Vegas to Fresno. And then that's the one, and then I bought her from there. Like, it tripped me out that my car was somehow, like, the only one. Like, if there was a bunch, it wouldn't be as interesting a thing, right? Like, if there's a bunch of it, then yeah, you just buy your car. But when she's like the only one, and she's literally the exact optioned out one that I had fucking built on the website, and she literally is the only one who ends up on the West Coast and then goes from Vegas to Fresno, and then is the one that I bought. Like, this is my car. Like, this is the car that I built. She's my car. I love my car. But that's it. That's the story for today about my car. Because why not? So, it's the weekend, or at least it's Friday night. So, I'm not going to work tomorrow. So, even though this has become a habit, I'm not going to be posting it for the next couple of days at the very least. Goodbye.